made a promise to these animals that this was their forever home, and I want to keep that promise. I'm going to cry. I really do want to keep that promise to them because, you know, they deserve that.
I'm going to tell the story today of the time that I ran an animal sanctuary for a year, and it was my mum's animal sanctuary, and it's like a happy story but also a tragic story. And I went through my old hard drive last night and found heaps of videos and photos and stuff. So this story sort of begins when Mum and I joined Animal Liberation, which is like a network or community of people who want to rescue animals. And so I won't say on camera that we did illegal things, but you know, we did rescue some animals that definitely needed rescuing. And then usually after that, you give them to someone else to sort of distribute to people who want to adopt. So it's a good thing. And I'm talking like, we went to rallies, we went to protests, we held up signs, we like did it all. That sort of started because Mum went vegan, and then I went vegan as well and was vegan for like 4 or 5 years. So Mum always talked about like getting an animal sanctuary or forming her own, but it was just like a dream, you know, the dreams that absolutely will never happen. She worked like in helping people, like youth worker, social worker, and you know, just by chance she got redundancy at work and she was like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't know when the breaking point was, but before I knew it, she was opening a sanctuary. You know, she bought some land up in Taree in Australia, which is in north of Sydney. Didn't expect this. And it was 100 acres, so it was massive. Lots of dams and lakes and very beautiful. It was called Manning River. So in no time at all, you know, Manning River was born. Manning River Farm Animal Sanctuary. And I've got a little photo I'm going to put somewhere around here. And you know, the animal rescue community is very interpersonal, so the news travels fast, and there's not many animal sanctuaries because you have to give up, you know, your entire life pretty much, you know, live on this farm, take care of all these animals, and it's a lot of animals and it's hard work because rescue animals have a lot of problems and you're not getting paid anything. It's not for profit, so you have no income. Before we knew it, we just had every type of animal you can imagine. Farm animal. We didn't have like, you know, llamas and stuff. I really wanted a llama, but Mum said no. So we had like pigs and chickens and goats and ducks and turkey and sheep, and there's probably some other animals that I left out, but like we had a lot of animals. I think about like 50 animals, you know, before everything started to sort of go downhill. And Mum was just like incredible with the animals.
Come on, come on. They're nice. We're having our me time, our together time. You like your neck rubs? And your head rubs.
Sophie girl. Sweet princess girl.
She gets bullied, like Sophie, so... Come on, Sophie. Come here. Yeah, you come out. Good girl. Yeah, Dad. Probably more fun eating it out of the bin, isn't it?
Can I let Flash out?
Yeah. Come on.
Where's my kiss? Kiss. Thank you. Pusha, kiss. Come on, I'm going. Pusha.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Ellie? Whoa. Think you're going to go to sleep there?
Ingram. You're on camera. Behave.
You can just tell that she really loved them, they really loved her, they trusted her, and it was just because I think they could tell, like, you know, deep down, she was there to help them and like love them and give them everything they want. You know, she would make like homemade food for the turkeys, like frozen peas and corn, and just like mix that up. You know, she would give the pigs all this fruit and like watermelons and stuff. Same with the chickens and with the goats. She would just like give them little showers and stuff, and she built them things. Like, she loved it. And it was quite an incredible place to go because all of the animals just like trusted humans so much because of her, because of the love she showed them. So everything was going great. Mum was really happy. She was calling me. Oh my God. She'd call me and she'd be like, I'm finally happy. Like, I've just never felt so at peace, like with life and myself and what I'm doing. And like to see her struggle her entire life, you know, with little money, single mum taking care of 2 kids, like 2 very difficult kids, a gay man. I wore her dresses and stuff. I was really happy for her. She was very happy. You know, it was taking off on Facebook, and like we started a YouTube page. Oh my God. We just wanted to make like a funny first video with the animals and like post it to Facebook and YouTube, just because like, you know, a lot of people were following.
Merry Christmas to every...
And Mum was really funny on camera.
Never worked with animals.
She didn't know it. She didn't think she was funny. She had so many insecurities about that. But once you put a camera on her, like me, just sets off a little spark in you. It's like action. We just wanted to say, hey.
And Merry Christmas from Manning River Sanctuary and all of the animal residents who have now disappeared.
And then sometimes we'd let this goat Steffi in the house, and we recorded a video of her eating peanut butter, which mum, you know, fed her peanut butter every now and then and like gave her bread and stuff. Like, I mean, she cherished these animals. She spoiled them. They were just 50 little children to her. And so we recorded Steffi eating the peanut butter, and that went viral. It was so weird because I remember looking at my phone and it was like 20,000 views like a week later or something, and I was like, holy shit. And I called mum and I was like, it's got 20,000 views, and like every like half an hour it was just going up in the thousands, and I was like, what is going on? And it was being posted everywhere. So we were like, damn. Sorry, I'm gesturing under the table. I'm like, what am I doing? My hand should be up here. It's just that my posture's not great, so I get a bit self-conscious about that. Anyway, so this video with the goat and the peanut butter, it blew up, it was everywhere. Like, I had really big news stations contacting me and being like, can we put this video up? And I just remember reading those emails and being like, what the hell? Yes, of course you can.
And goats are notorious for eating just about anything, and this little lady is taking things to a new level. Comfy at home as well by the looks of it. Stephanie the goat's favourite food is peanut butter. She was rescued from abusive conditions, so staff at the Manning River Farm Animal Sanctuary are happy to indulge her sweet tooth. You go goats, then pandas. I can't tell you what else we've got in store.
And so we were like, okay, we should just keep uploading videos. Like, mum, do you have any more? And she would show me on her phone, and I was like, holy crap, there's just like hundreds of videos on her phone and computer of her just out with the animals, because, you know, she's there full-time working by herself. She has to go buy the animal feed, she has to feed the animals, she has to like let the chickens and turkeys out in the morning, put them away at night, and the ducks, make sure the foxes don't get them. There were fox attacks, so she had to, you know, be careful of that. Not nice to wake up to, fox attack, lots of dead animals. Funnily enough, her last name was Fox. Anyway, she just had a lot of videos, and I was like, these are great, mum. I was like, people would love to see these. These are funny, these are like relatable, they're romantic, you know, on the sanctuary and stuff with the animals. And because the animals loved her and trusted her so much, she got a lot of interesting animal behaviors on there. And there was this one goat who would just rub her head up against mum's. So anyway, I just started putting lots and lots of videos up, like this one of a goat finding itself in a mirror. So we were feeling good, you know, and like it was potential revenue for the sanctuary, which was like a revolutionary idea. Like, what could we do with the sanctuary with money? Because mum really struggled for money. Like, taking care of a 100-acre farm by yourself with 50 animals, demanding animals that need love because she's courted them so much. Then she also had to, you know, drive to go work at jobs in the city and bring in the money to afford that stuff. So mum was really excited, and she didn't really know about YouTube or like what could really happen on YouTube. And like, I've always been watching YouTube. I freaking love YouTube. That's why I'm posting on YouTube now. She was just really excited that people were seeing it and seeing the animals, and she was just publicity for the sanctuary and stuff. And she held open days so people could come and visit the animals, and like people loved it because the animals were so comfortable with humans. And, you know, mum was so enjoyable to be around, and I'm so happy that I got to spend so much time with her, you know, this person, you know, regardless of the fact that she was my mother and that was sort of the obligation. I've not met one person sort of, and I don't think I ever will, that will compare to how she made me feel. You know, I have to make myself feel those things now because she's not here to tell me. But that sort of brings us into the tragic part, and I hate recording videos where one of the main topics is my mum, and I never know how I'm going to react. Like, sometimes I'm fine, I talk about it on other videos and I'm fine, but like when I sort of dedicate it and go through her life and her emotions and sort of empathize with how she was feeling, it does make me very sad. And I've tried recording videos before, I couldn't finish them. Like, I would just be blubbering, just crying. I'm gonna get comfortable, my legs going numb. Anyway, so she would call me and, you know, the family and just be like, I don't feel well. She'd say I'm sleeping all day, like just incredibly lethargic, like I'm not even feeding myself, I just have no energy at all. And I was like, maybe it's low iron, you know, just like common things, lethargy. But what she didn't really tell us was some of the other symptoms that she was having, and we only found out once she went to a doctor, because we were all like, you look gaunt, and her lip like wasn't symmetrical. Like, we were like, have you had a stroke? So when she was at the doctor, she was saying, oh, you know, like I'll be carrying buckets of water to the animals and like I'll feel sharp pains up and down my arm. And we were like, what the hell? Why didn't you say that, mum? God bless her. She just wanted to troop on and just keep her pain to herself. We were like, why didn't you tell us? And there was just a bunch of other symptoms. Anyway, once she said that to the doctor was very worried, said, I want you to go for an MRI, like immediately. I've booked you an appointment. Go now, they're ready for you. We got there, I was with her. She was really scared because obviously being asked to go have a brain scan and so urgently is quite terrifying. And she didn't really know how to handle it, but she was putting up a front. I just remember her being, you know, extra positive and stuff. But she was scared. I could see her shaking. I could see her looking off in the distance all the time. I could see her thinking. And I was saying like, oh, you'll be fine. Like, this is just routine. Like, they're going to check everything. Like the things that you think, the things that you say, the things you tell yourself to make yourself feel better. And I was like just really focused on making sure she was feeling okay, because she was not. And the radiographer came out and was like, we've booked an appointment with your doctor, you need to go immediately. And we were like, what? Like, what? Okay, shit. And so we go back to the doctor, And the doctor's like very serious. And so that wasn't a good feeling. Like, holy shit, why so serious? And she was like, you have a brain tumor. And I just remember, actually, I don't even really remember how I felt. It's not something you can digest straight away. It's impossible. Just like things that you never want to think about, things that you haven't thought about because it hurts too much. Now you have to think about them and face them as a reality. Thinking about her actually passing away and dying was just incomprehensible to me, and not something I don't even really think about it now. Like, it hurts so much. I remember her just looking at me. I don't think she said anything. I think we were just shocked. And the doctor showed us the brain scan, and we could see a massive tumour in her brain. And they were like, you need to go to the hospital sort of ASAP and get a biopsy so we can find out if it's malignant, benign. And so we got out of the doctor's surgery, and she broke. We didn't even get to the car. We were like outside the doctor's surgery. I can remember standing there, and we just both started crying, like just like the crying that gets worse and worse because you start thinking more and more about the consequences of this. Like, what about the animals? What about the sanctuary? What about, my kids? What about my mum that just moved down? On the drive home, all she could talk about was us and like how it's going to be okay and how she's going to fight and stuff. But also, I think she kept the possibility of that not happening in her mind, because when she was talking, she would talk about the future and me and Nathan and how we have to stick together and be together and support each other. And things that, people who are faced with death think about. Like, you could just tell that she was really scared, but she just didn't say it, explicitly. She would just say it in those ways. And so we were crying in the car, and I'm telling her, look, it's going to be okay. Like, me and Nathan were going to be fine, like all this stuff, just things that I thought might comfort her, because I knew the biggest thing worrying her was that, her children. And I was like, we're going to be fine, like, I promise you, like, and I am fine, like, I didn't want to cry. Like, I am fine. I think what's so sad about it is that she would be so happy and proud of who we are. Try and get through this bit, the sad bit, but she had the biopsy, and it was a grade 4 multiform glioblastoma, which is just like the worst brain cancer you can get. It's one of the worst cancers you can get. It has like the lowest survival rate, and it's so aggressive. And because it's in your brain, dissecting the tissue out, you can't just go in and just take it out. One of the big Australian news stations saw the story in our YouTube videos and contacted us, and they wanted to do a video to put up on the news just about Mum's story.
Feeding time at the Manning River Farm Animal Sanctuary.
Hey, Georgie.
10 months ago, Fiona Fox established the sanctuary with a good friend, fulfilling a lifelong dream to help abused animals. But in a cruel twist of fate, 3 weeks ago, Fiona was diagnosed with an aggressive, incurable form of brain cancer. Today was her first full day back with the animals since her diagnosis.
I have an amazing bond with them because I've spent so much time with them in the past. It's just amazing. I can't even explain the bond that we have and the different personalities of the animals.
The outlook isn't good, and Fiona is facing a long road ahead with at least 6 months of chemo and radiation therapy. But adding to her stress is the worry the animal sanctuary may have to be closed if she's no longer around to run it. Her son KANE has begun a campaign to help keep the dream alive. He set up a fundraiser on chuffed.org, which has already raised $17,000, although much more is needed.
Obviously we don't want to lose it because it was Mum's dream, and we want to keep it going for her. It's her legacy.
And despite all of the challenges ahead, Fiona is prepared to fight for her life and the lives of the animals she loves so much.
I made a promise to these animals that this was their forever home, and I want to keep that promise. I'm going to cry. I really do want to keep that promise to them because, they deserve that.
Elizabeth Creasy, NBN News.
Everything started to go wrong, and she was on chemotherapy and stuff.
Yeah, some of it goes. Just going to take it up to shoulder length. First one.
You're not showing my
I'll start at
profile,
the
are
back.
you, Kane?
But keep your head still.
Oh, I have a little twinge of anxiety.
Just that little bit. See?
Good.
Okay.
Looks good.
Does it?
Yeah. Wouldn't lie to you. Oh, positively radiant.
Oh,
positively radiant. I found out I had a screw in my head
There you go, my darling. All
that
done.
could quite easily come loose, so I have an excuse when I'm a bit
You got a
that my
screw
screws come loose.
There you go.
Give us a flick.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
I've done a good job. There you go.
Okay. Oh! Oh!
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A little
It
bit
looks-
more
it looks
next
good.
week.
Is that shorter than I thought? I want my money back.
I'm not going to charge you $70 for that. There you go.
Good job.
The first cut.
Then next week, I think
First
maybe
week.
take it to chin length. And then the final off. Yep.
So just a bit shorter each week. And I think, you know what, the shorter each week it gets, that'll be easier to deal with, and it will. But the thought of being completely bald, it's scary. At least I'll be hairless and not toothless.
That's one way to look at it.
Hair grows back. The teeth don't grow back. But bandanas. I'll get a look. I'll get my own look, and yeah, glitter bandanas. Oh, glitter bandanas. Yeah.
She kept working at the farm and doing her best and stuff, but eventually she couldn't be at the sanctuary anymore, so that's when I had to go up. But I remember calling her on the first day and crying and being like, I can't do this. The animals, they're just I can't find some of them. And she's like, you need to get in the Jeep and drive out. It's 100 acres. And there was an airstrip on this property. She's like, you need to drive out and go find them. And I was like, oh my God. So I got in my Jeep and then I bogged it. Freaking bogged the Jeep. It took me about 2 hours and I had to get my neighbor's help. He was like, I have a friend who has a crane with a magnet. And I was like, that's a bit extreme. Holy shit, how embarrassing. Over time, eventually got the gist of it, eventually got the hang of it all. And I kind of really enjoyed living at the farm. I used to sit out with the animals and study with them and stuff. But it did sort of take me away from mum as well. But I also had to be there for mum. But I made trips all the time. It was an hour and a half, 2 hours to Newcastle from Taree. And that's where mum was living, with her mum. So she was close to a hospital because if anything happened, she could have aneurysms, she could have strokes. She was already having terrible symptoms from the tumour itself, and she did radiation, she did all the right things, all the things that she had to do to try and stay here. She fought, she went for runs on the beach, she used to climb these stairs, and now we have a placard there that says this was her Everest, because it was these vertical stairs and they were so hard for her to run up, but she would do it every day. She'd be down there running and exercising and trying these diets and all these things that people say would work. She had about 5 surgeries before she passed away, and every single time was just she was so scared, and she would tell us how scared she was and how she needed to do it though for us, because she wanted to see me graduate, which she never got to. But she had a surgery in the end where you have to take out a big portion of your brain, and doctors didn't recommend it, but she wanted to be here, she wanted to live.
Happy birthday, Mum. Happy birthday, Nathan. Love you both so much. I'm hopeless with these. Love you, Kane. Love you, Nath. And John, I love you too, John.
I love you. We all love you, my darling.
She lost the left side of her body pretty much. She could not use the left side of her body. She couldn't walk. She couldn't get out of bed. Going to the bathroom was very difficult. It was very humiliating, she used to say. She'd say, I'm so embarrassed. I can't take care of myself. She would say to me and the family, she would be looking at the blue sky and she'd say, I don't want to leave this. I don't want to... She said, I can't imagine not seeing a blue sky again. I can't imagine not being here. Anyway, okay. I keep making myself cry. I don't mean to. It's just I want people to know how incredible she was. We had to sell the sanctuary, and that really broke her heart. Not only just having brain cancer and stuff, as if that's not enough to deal with it. She had to sell the sanctuary, say goodbye to the animals that were her children and she loved so much. She made sure that they went to other animal sanctuaries and they had good homes and good lives. And we went to go visit one of the other animal sanctuaries, which had Caramel, the one that rubbed its head against hers. They took her in and we went there sort of just before she passed. And Caramel did the same thing. She remembered Mum, and Mum just sat in the field and cried. cried with happiness and sadness, because I guess coming to terms with things that are lost and forever lost. And we sold the sanctuary, said goodbye to all the animals, and said goodbye to Mum. She couldn't wake up sort of the last 2 weeks of her life. She really struggled waking up, and when she would, she was just groggy and just not herself and was in pain. Like, she'd only really wake up if she was in immense pain. She was ready to pass and she wanted to. She told us so many times, I just want to go. Like, the doctors asked her, if you have a heart attack or something goes wrong in surgery, do you want us to revive you? And she said no. She was like, no. And she looked at me and she didn't know I was there, and she started crying immediately. She was like, I'm sorry. She was like, I'm sorry, Kane. And I was like, don't be sorry. Like, I get it. The things that she had to go through and just like the humiliation. So she was coming close to her end, but it always felt like she was hanging on to something. And I was there, and because the family called and said, I think it's time to come to the hospital and say your goodbyes, your last goodbyes. And we were just talking. We didn't know if she could hear or anything because she wasn't opening her eyes. We didn't know what she was feeling or what she was experiencing. And we were like just talking and happy chat and trying to laugh and like make sure she felt good and comfortable. And I recounted the names of every animal at the farm. And on the last one, she stopped breathing. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or if I need to get myself together because you can't understand me. I don't know if it was just coincidence or if she was waiting. But every single animal, I sat there and I said, Steffi loves you, Caramel loves you, Stanley loves you. Like, all the animals, I went through them. And on the last one, she stopped breathing. And she was finally at peace. And we were finally at peace because I just couldn't watch it anymore. We couldn't. It was just like so true. It was over for her. Like, no matter where she is, if there is an afterlife or anything, she's in a better place. Like, it was hell what she went through before she died, and I hate that. That's what kills me the most, is like, it shouldn't have been hell for her. Someone who gave themselves hell their entire life, and then this is why I don't do these videos, because I just end up crying so much. Yeah, she gave herself hell, and she died in pain. So, but I don't think about that. I think that she's happy now, that she's at peace now. And at the end of my life, I'll be with her in death. Like, I'll be with her again. Fuck. I dream about her. I'll wake up and I'll just feel like I had a little adventure with her, like I saw her again. It just feels so real in the dream. Like, I guess also it's hard when you wake up because it's not real. I really cherish the fact that I don't have nightmares, because I used to. In the beginning I couldn't sleep for months and I'd have nightmares just about her and all the horrible things I saw her go through, her crying in fear, like in the hospital bed before surgery, waving goodbye, like not knowing if she was going to die in this surgery, just like her breakdowns when she would call me, just absolutely crying and just in shock and just like in pain, so much pain, just like nerve pain. She couldn't move anymore. Even until the end she said, I'm going to get through this, like, and we knew that she wasn't, and she knew that she wasn't. So my idea in life is just get through my life, no matter what it is. Be happy, enjoy it. It's the one life you've got. Just enjoy that. I don't mean to cry so much. I didn't actually think I'd cry. Enjoy it for her. Have the life she didn't have. Have the life she always dreamt of and the life that she deserved, and feel the way she should have felt about herself. Like, live this life for her. I'll be with her again. Like, it's not the end. Like, I'll be with her. So anyway, I'm sorry, like, that turned into a little cry fest at the end, but it's sort of essential to the story and why I'm making this video. This is for anyone watching to know about her. Fiona Fox's journey page on Facebook, which is like mum's journey pretty much, and like if you go to the sort of start of it, it starts with her typing status updates about how she's feeling and all this stuff, and it got quite a lot of people behind it. Like, there was a lot of people there in a community, and people would reply and tell her how much they loved her and stuff, and that really made her feel good. Like, if anyone's watching that was a part of Fiona Fox's journey page, like, thank you, because it really helped her. It really made her feel so loved. and so happy, and she'd sit there and be like, I don't deserve this. She'd be like, look at all this amazing support and love. She said, who am I? Like, why do I deserve this? She was like, why are people saying this to me? And I was like, can you just understand like how incredible you are? And like, there's a Manning River Facebook page, like look at it, maybe some more of the happier stuff on the Manning River farm page, and just like, if you want to understand maybe more of what it was like for us and her to go through the brain cancer thing, Fiona Fox's journey page, it's there. We're always going to leave it there, because everything that she contributed to, everything she did matters now, because we have no more of it. And it's never going to come again. Just knowing it's there, just knowing that other people can still experience her, I can still experience her, it's all there. So Mum, hey, I hope you enjoyed this, and I love you, and I'm doing everything I can to make you proud, and I hope this video makes you proud. I don't want to cry anymore. I just want to end the video not crying, you know, like, but thanks for watching, and I'm sorry that I cried for most of that. I didn't expect to. When I actually have to confront the things that I don't want to think about because I need to talk about them, and like, obviously, once I think about one thing, I get another image of horror in my mind, like just, I'll see her at the end, like, I'm gonna see her again, so it's all good, like, okay. I don't want to end crying. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a real crazy part of my life, and something that I cherish so much, being on the farm and studying and stuff. Like, that's such an incredible story, an incredible memory, and just something I look back on and can't believe I actually did, and just really proud of myself. Like, I used to chop wood and stuff and just like have my own fireplace, and I'd read a book by the fire, and I was like, geez, this is just like crazy cool. And I really grew to love the animals, except for this one goat. He'd always try and buckle me over, like with his neck. My friend came over to visit the farm, and she was like, I'm pretty sure that goat has been bred with a horse. It was just massive and had a massive neck, like me. So when I'd be in there trying to feed, he'd just be running at me. Imagine this massive goat running at you and just like trying to bowl you over. It's been nice chatting. It's been quite cathartic. So I'm glad I could make this video and like properly sit down and put it all together. And I found all the videos. I was looking through my hard drive for hours last night, just grabbing videos, and on the Facebook page, I just got everything I could. So I could just make, you know, one video where I just feel really proud to talk about my mum and show people stuff about her. So thanks for letting me do that. I've had my cry. Probably gonna go have a cigarette because I'm stressed. No, I really shouldn't. I've got nicotine gum. Should probably chew that. But man, a cigarette sounds pretty good right now. Don't feel sad for me. Don't feel sad for Mum. Be happy. That's what she wants you to feel. That's what she wants me to feel. So enjoy life. Be happy. Enjoy the videos and stuff that she made, and the time she spent with the animals, because I think that's what she would really want if she could say anything right now. She'd say, stop crying, stop being sad, like, it's all good, it's over, I'm fine, like, I'm gonna go. My legs are numb. Oh, fuck.